Welcome back to Wood Acres. Today we're going to be making concrete mushroom risers for my upcoming chicken coop build. Pop, we ended up getting some snow today, so the birds are all inside. Much like people, they don't want to come out on days like this. We're a little over an inch of snow right now, and I think it's going to stick around because it's only supposed to get colder this month. I have Dabbles in his stall, and Mumbles and her ducks can come in and out as they please. I put water and feed inside so they don't have to come out if they don't want to. And for the most part, the chickens are staying inside too. And if you know anything about concrete, we're going to need to be working inside as well. Pup. Come on, bud, let's get out of the wind. Now, if you've been following along for a little while now, you might recognize this area. This is where we had to bring Mumbles in for recovery. Luckily, we had Nurse Rita with her, and she was able to recover in here, and then Khaki ended up getting hurt. We had to bring Khaki in with both of them so they could all recover together. And happily, everybody was able to get healed up, and we were able to get them back out with the flock. Unfortunately, we did lose Nurse Rita a short time later. She was an older duck. She was a rescue from a friend's flock. But Nurse Rita is definitely fondly remembered, especially for what she's done for Mumbles to help her recover. Pup, but I think we got everything we need to do this concrete mushroom project. I didn't go out and get anything yet. I just gathered things up that I had around the property. We have 2 steel bowls that I'm going to be able to use. I have a bag of high-strength concrete mix that we have left over from another project and a concrete mixing tub. And I grabbed some old flower pots that I had saved, as well as a can for water and some extra virgin olive oil, of course. And we don't want to make a mess in here, so I did grab a tarp as well. Pup, we're going to have to set up a workstation. But for some context, I'm going to be making a chicken coop here soon. I'm going to need a foundation to put it on. Now, I don't want to pour a concrete pad out there. I actually want to raise the chicken coop up off the ground so it gives the chickens an area of shelter underneath, as well as a dry area to use as a dust bath. And I saw some other older structures that I liked. They had concrete mushrooms underneath them. I think they're mainly used in the UK and other parts of Europe. But I like the look and the simplicity and the fact that I think I can make them. So I went around the homestead, gathered up everything I think I'm going to need. We're going to do a little project here. Pop. But to give you an idea and help you follow along, we're going to be using the pot as the mushroom stalk, and then we're going to be using the bowl as the mushroom cap. So the cap's going to go right on top of the stalk, and then that's going to give us a little mushroom. And the pot is about 10 inches tall. The bowl's about 5 inches deep. So that's going to give me 15 inches underneath the coop. And I think that's going to be enough for the chickens to safely get under there. And it's definitely going to be high enough to keep the wood of the building up off the ground. That would be the main feature of the mushroom cap here, being rounded. It's going to let all the moisture come off and not sit right there, soaking into the leg of the building. So it's going to take a few days to get all the caps made because I only have 2 molds here. I'm going to spray these bowls with the cooking oil. We'll put the concrete in there, fill it up, and I want to put some type of structure inside there sticking out. Once the concrete hardens, I can take it out of the bowl and then repeat the process until I have all the mushroom caps I need. I'm thinking it's going to be 8 I need for the coop. So once all the mushroom caps are made and I have a piece of structure sticking out of them, I'll go ahead and pour all of the pots. I'm going to block these holes off and probably put a little bit of sand in the bottom of these pots so I have a nice bottom instead of the structure that's in here. I just want something smooth and flat. But I need all the mushroom caps done and ready before I pour the pots, because I need that structure sticking out of the mushroom cap to go into the wet concrete of the pot. So if you imagine one of these is the dry concrete mushroom cap, it's going to have a piece of structure sticking out, some type of metal. And once I pour the pot, I'm going to be able to stick that piece of metal down into the wet concrete, and then it's going to dry, forming these 2 pieces together. I'm going to use the cooking oil on the stainless steel so the concrete doesn't stick and I can reuse these. And I'm going to have sand in the bottom of this pot so the holes aren't going to be a factor, but I'm going to spray the pot too with cooking oil to try and get the concrete not to stick. But once the concrete dries, if it does end up sticking, I can always just cut this pot right off. And then we'll have a big solid concrete mushroom we can use as a chicken coop foundation or just as a garden decoration. Pop. Alright, that's the plan. Let's see if it works. And once I find out where a stopping point is, we'll go up and see the animals. Now, as for structure to put in the concrete to hold the 2 pieces together, I'm going to be using this old cattle panel I've been saving. I had this down in the side garden here as an archway for some morning glories. And then the twin sister to this maple tree that was standing right here fell down and crushed the whole garden. It mangled up my cattle panel, so I can't really use it for its intended purposes. So I'm actually going to cut off some pieces on this side. It's a really strong metal, so it's going to go really well inside the concrete to hold everything together. It's actually probably overkill. Pop. But I need some metal structure and I have this thing laying here, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. Got my bolt cutters here to get some pieces off. Pop. So working with the one bag tonight, it didn't look like I had enough to do 2 big bowls, so I just used these as some garden ornaments for the excess. But this is going to be the structure that I'm going for. It does look like I got it a little bit too wet. I'm no mason. Pop. But this is how far we got tonight. I'm going to let these dry overnight. I actually have to go close the barn up now. We still have some light out here, but it is getting late. We only have daylight right now because it's reflecting so much off the snow. But all the birds have been in for a while now, so I'm just going to go ahead and close up the barn. Pup, it's all white tonight. Bert and the snowballs should be in. Looks like Rufio and the sweet girls are in. All the ducks are definitely in. I'm going to go ahead and close their door. You good, ladies? All right, I'm closing up. Puppy, why'd you roll your ball down there? A port, bring. Good boy. We got to empty out all those poles. It's going to be frigid tonight. Come on, Pop. How'd everybody make out? Hey, Mumbles, right in your silhouette, girl. Good. Dabbles. Doing all right, bud? Hate to use the flash. How you doing? There you are, buddy. You guys good? Cuddle up tonight. It's going to be a cold one. Mumbles ducks do not like the flash, so I'm not going to bother them with it. All right, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Come on, Pop. All the snow blew into the love shack here. I'm going to cover this with a bucket, but it's probably frozen over. Oh, it's still fresh. It has a little bit of a crust on it. I'm going to go ahead and cover it anyway. Pop, this is actually where we're going to be building the new coop. I got to get some things out of the way, but we're going to be building it right down the middle here. And we're going to be using some of this wood, of course. Hey, ladies. Got any eggs in there? Why is there always someone laying an egg? You're not broody, are you? Is just someone always laying an egg at night? I got to take what you have, girl. All right, I'll leave them there. I'll check on you later, see if you're actually broody. Hopefully she stays on them. If she doesn't, they're gonna freeze. Go. Gotta close up Bert too. Oh, we're frozen. Got it. Bert and the snowballs are actually gonna be the ones moving into the new coop once it's built. Oh, ladies, how you doing? You got all 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Why are you sitting alone, girl? You don't want to sit with the flock? Hey, Bert, you don't have any girls next to you tonight? Oh, you be a nice fella. You be a nice fella. I hear you. Come on, Pop. What are you doing over there, girl? You got eggs? Protecting any eggs? Oh, you are. I'll take these. They're already cold. Come on, Pop. All right, guys, I'm going to finish closing up the barn. We're going to pick this video up tomorrow. Pop. Alright, it is taking some time for this concrete to dry. You can still see this concrete is wet, and mixing it up that wet wasn't the best method, but it was not drying in the garage where it's about 50 degrees, so I brought them into the house to hopefully get them to cure up some more before we bust them out of the molds. Pop. So I'll bring it back when these are dry. Alright, it is the 3rd day after pouring these molds. I think they're ready to try and pop out now. Like I said, I brought them down into the basement where it's a lot warmer than the garage to help them harden up a little quicker. Because whenever I mixed them up, they were super wet. So it was going to take a little bit longer than normal to dry. Pop. Now in the meantime, I was flexing this one to see if it was ready to come out. And I think I broke off some of the edging. I'm not sure, but I think it's time to figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and try and pop these out. Alright, well this one is clearly not ready. That's unfortunate. Hopefully this one's better. Ooh, not bad. Still super soft though. That is still going to need to harden up for a little while. Pop. That makes me really nervous about this one. I might actually just let this one go another day before popping it out. Pop. I think I have some learning to do. It might help if I mix it up a little bit drier for next batch, but we're going to have to wait a little bit on this one. Pop. I really don't want that big bowl to turn into crumble. Alright, this is day 5 after we got this project started. I'm just going to risk it and go ahead and pop this out of the bowl, see if we have any cracks on it. Pop. Yeah, you want to help, buddy? Get out of the camera's way, bud. No one can see with that big tail. Watch out, bud. This one I popped out the other day. It is starting to harden up here. I don't think it's completely finished though, but it's giving me confidence that I'll be able to pop this one out of the bowl. I brought a mallet to try and help loosen it up from the sides. I did spray this bowl with Pam in the beginning, so hopefully all those precautions will help. I'd like to keep the bowl. Oh! Oh! It's out! And it's gorgeous! I don't want to touch it in case it crumbles. I'm going to leave it right here to finish curing. It could take a few more days to fully harden up. Smells like concrete, but it looks beautiful. Gorgeous. Pop, what do you think? Can we make more? We're gonna find out. Alright, I have the mushroom cap here drying out. It is getting lighter, so I think the moisture's starting to leave it. So I'm gonna mix up this other bag of concrete I have. I'm gonna try and mix it up a little bit drier than the first batch, so maybe it'll dry a little bit quicker. I'm hoping I have enough in this one bag here to make another mushroom cap, fill this bowl up again. And I also wanna try and make the mushroom stalk here for the first mushroom cap that we made. Pop. What I ended up doing was cutting the bottom out of one of these flower pots so I could put it in upside down, because a mushroom stalk is wider at the base and more narrow right as it gets to the cap. And it'd also be more solid with a wider base than a top. So I duct taped it into place here so it doesn't move when I fill it up with concrete, and I just put it on this old plastic serving tray lid thing. Now that it's in place here, I'm going to spray the inside with the oil. Hopefully it won't stick too bad and I can reuse this mold. But once I mix up the concrete and pour it in here, I'm going to try and set the mushroom cap right on top, because it has a metal frame underneath that I'm trying, that I'm trying to get that metal frame into the stem so both pieces are really hardened together instead of just having a mushroom cap set on top of a stalk. Pop. And we moved into the basement here where it's warmer, so hopefully we'll have better results. And if I have any concrete left over, I'll try and make a stalk for that smaller mushroom cap. So let's make a mushroom. Alright, I think it's time to open up the mushroom. Now unfortunately when I was doing this, I tried to readjust it and it did break apart here on this edge. I'm hoping it hardened up a lot more now. And unfortunately my floor's not level down here, so we have a slight slant. Not sure how much that's going to affect it. It is going to reposition the flat spot though. Pop. Now whenever I was readjusting this and it broke, it fell down onto the pot here. It kind of splashed everything. But it also crinkled my pot, so I think I'm going to have to cut the pot off. Pop. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I at least get a garden decoration out of this. I'm going to have to do a little bit better whenever I make the foundation mushrooms for the coop. Alright, I'd really like to cut the pot off and save this plastic bottom. But we'll see how it works. I don't know if that's gonna work. Oh no, it's moving. I don't know why it's moving. It still looks super wet. Wow. I need to figure out how to mix concrete correctly. I saved the tray though, that's good. But we are just gonna leave this here to dry, I guess. It is not dry yet. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. I wonder if I can still try and cut this off. It might not need the mold anymore. You can clearly see the moisture still in the stock. We're gonna have to leave this go. Well, the stalk of the mushroom looks super wet still, so it's gonna take a few more days for that to dry out. I'm just gonna leave this go for now. I'm not even gonna pop out that other piece in the bowl. I mixed up the concrete way too wet and it's taking a lot longer than normal to dry. Well, I definitely needed this practice run, but I think everything's figure outable, so we still can make this work. And if all else fails, hopefully I still get a garden ornament out of this. Pop, you really wanna play, don't you? 2 balls. But it's a process, and we're still in progress. Alright, well this is taking way too much time. That still looks dark, so I'm going to leave that go. I'm not going to touch it for now. I'm just going to let it try and dry as hard as possible. This is really just a practice round. I'm not going to end up using these for the foundation of the coop. But I'm hoping I gain some experience doing these ones, and these ones can just go as garden decorations, and then hopefully I'll do a little bit better whenever I actually make the ones for the foundation. I do want to get this one out of the bowl though, so it can completely harden up. It came out. It definitely feels pretty soft still, so I'm just going to let these all completely harden up down here in the basement. But this was all part of the process, and it looks like we have some more work to do before we actually start the foundation project. Pop. I really do like this idea though. I think it's going to look good in the end. And it's always fun to get your hands dirty. Pop. But I need to wrap this video up. It's getting long enough, and I'm sure you guys are wondering what's been going on. So if you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.